Hey girl, hey. Hey boys, hey. Welcome back to my channel. It is MAMABUDEEZ here. Welcome to all my new subscribers. To my old subscribers, I am so sorry I have to go back to making videos this way before I learned how to go live. But unfortunately, there's just too much chatter in the chat box. I do give you guys time on Monday nights. We have Monday Mama meetings where we all get together and we just chat about ourselves. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when it's true crime Tuesdays and Thursdays, and when we are getting these victims' cases out there, especially ones like Harley, we kind of need to keep this spotlight on them, on the victims. And so we used to be able to tell the story and then everybody would chat in the end, but I am just getting distracted by chat, you guys, and it is not getting the information out there like I used to. Plus the blurriness. I am going to delete parts 1, 2, and 3 of my Harley videos today, and we're going to get all the information out in this video right here, and maybe we can go live and talk about this video, and that way you can still get all your theories and your concerns and questions out together. But you should come check us out on a Monday night at Monday Mama meetings. That's when you get to talk about yourself. That's when you get to put the spotlight on you. And we used to have it set up before I blew up over the past few weeks, to where it was everybody would let me get the story out and then we would chat about it in the end. So I uploaded for a month. I got my channel from 0 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers in 1 month by doing this right here. I would make the video and then I would upload it, and I couldn't even go live. I didn't know how to go live, and my channel was just as successful. So I want to get this information out about Harley without having to be distracted with the trolls. And as you guys see, I'm not a creator that makes money off of people's hurt and grief and cases. I have never put an ad on any case. I have never extorted a family member or even asked them to come on the channel, because the trolls from a creator could really scar a broken family member whose family is missing. These people do not act right in the chat, and so I would be afraid to bring family members on. Actually, in the Watterson case, I have been communicating with one of her very close friends, someone that she was in the delivery room with when this girl had her baby, and I never brought those emails to the channel, the text messages, because I know that this already hurting girl would get destroyed by the trolls. And so I am going to be watching another creator who's bringing Allison's mom on Monday, and I'm so excited that she picked up the case and that she is doing that. That's just not my style, you guys. I don't monetize my videos on those kind of things. I don't have ads on any one of these videos, so don't get it twisted if you think that I'm putting this information to get views or money from this Harley case, from this little boy's tragedy, because that is absolutely not the case. And if you go look at other creators that have 10 times more subscribers as me, they are putting ads on every other video. I do not. I am a natural born hustler. I flip Mary Kay. I flip these nails. I just work my butt off. And so YouTube is not my source income. This is a place where you will not hate. You will participate. You will articulate. You will speculate. And if you don't act right, you'll regulate. We have to remember this is my channel. A lot of people get the impression that they can come over here and control the narrative, and they're not going to. You do not get to say what I'm going to cover, what I'm not going to cover, and how I'm going to do it, and whether this is wrong or that is wrong, because this is my channel. You guys come here to find out things about these true crime cases, and you ask my opinion, and I let you know the difference between my opinion and facts. So today I'm going to present you all the facts on Harley and let you decide. And This is a place that we can agree to disagree, but you can't be snide. You can't deliver it in a sarcastic tone. You can't be ugly, rude. This is a place where we uplift one another. It is a community where we love on one another and we take care of each other, and we're not going to let the nasty hate brew itself in here, okay? Excuse me, allergies and coffee do not go hand in hand. But let me just catch you up for anyone that doesn't know about Harley Dilly. We'll start the video like that. And he was a missing 14-year-old boy, Harley Dilly, that was found dead in an abandoned home chimney. Now, they had him as a missing person for over a month. The story goes the body of the missing Ohio teenager, Harley Dilly, was found in the chimney of an abandoned home. He was missing for a month, you guys. Port Clinton police announced and said the 14-year-old's death was an accident and found no signs of foul play. All right? Dilly went missing on December 20th while walking to school. A reward of more than $20,000 was offered for information pertaining in his disappearance. And then the chief police name was Rob Hickman, and he said the Dilly's family has some closure. And they believe he was climbing up the antenna, slipped off into a chimney where he became stuck. The abandoned house where his body was found Monday night is across the street from Dilly's home. All right. And that is a residential area along Lake Erie, some 40 miles east of Toledo. All right, you guys. It is, and the chief said in this press conference, it's not the outcome we wanted. I promised myself not to break down today. He said that he did check abandoned homes multiple times, but because the home across the street did not show any signs of forced entry, they did not try to get in the home a month prior. Harley could have been in the home for a whole month. He could have been dead in the chimney for a whole month. But to me personally, and this is my opinion on my channel, I do not think he could fit in that chimney. They passed around a picture of Harley tiny all throughout the missing persons. And then as soon as the detective said no foul play and accident, this picture surfaced of how big Harley actually was. And I want to show that to you guys. Also, Harley Dilly did YouTube videos a lot, and there were lots of his YouTube videos where his abusive home life was in the background. You could hear Harley's mother yelling at his stepfather about how he needed to get to a doctor and get whatever pills he needed. And you hear, you see Heather pop a 2-year-old for standing and looking at Harley. That's merely all he did when Harley was doing the flip the bottle video. And so you can listen to Harley Dilly on YouTube or Harley Dilly 2.0 and hear all of these confrontations that Harley was having with his parents. So I believe personally that he knew about that abandoned house across the street and he spent a lot of time there, my personal opinion. So now we are going to go into what I have as far as this is the young man's picture that surfaced after they said no foul play and it was an accident. He's quite large young man. Someone said that they made a Matchbox car look this large. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. That I want you to see the size of the chimney. They expected that little boy to slip and fall into that tiny hole. All right. They said that little boy crawled up. Let me find it. This huge antenna. You see it running up the side here? Oh, I've got my finger on the wrong. Okay, you see it running up the side right here. This is the antenna. They're saying he climbed up on that 2-story house. And that tiny little chimney is what they're saying right in the middle of that roof is what they're saying he went in. All right, but this is what the house looked like. And it was directly across the street. And I'm really upset that the police did not gain access to that house or even tried to get the key from the homeowner until a month later after they gained access to Harley's social media, that they had been trying to get into, and realized that he could possibly be across the street, which makes me believe that he had been in this house before. Now, I want to show you what a 13 by 9 envelope looks like, and what a puffy jacket like Harley was wearing is bigger than a 9 by 13. So I just don't think that it would have fit down. That jacket could have possibly fallen out onto the floor. The glasses could have, but I just don't see that jacket falling out onto the floor of this. They're trying to say that that jacket went down with Harley and came out this tiny little hole and made its way to the floor. No way. You saw how puffy that jacket was. And then if Harley was stuck here, right here, like they said he was, then his jacket would have never made its way through. So how did his jacket get out of the chimney and onto the floor beside the chimney, like the police reported? I understand the glasses falling out through that tiny little hole, but I do not see that. This is what they're saying the makeup of the chimney is. They're saying that he fell right here and got stuck, and his glasses came out through there and ended up over here on the other side. But there is absolutely no way that jacket could get through. Let's look again at the jacket and this is the opening of the chimney. They're saying down there at the bottom is only 6 inches. So that jacket up against a 9 by 13, that's how big the opening of the chimney was. So not only do I believe that the jacket was able to come through here and end up on the floor, I do not believe that a young man this big here fit in a chimney this size. I just, no way. No way. Let me give you an out look of that same chimney. See? Look at it. They're saying he went in that. A 14-year-old boy, like in the picture I showed you. I just find that absolutely hard to believe. I mean, 1,000% I find it hard to believe. So I also wanted to show you that Ashlyn goes back and forth to someone hurt my brother to someone didn't. And this is a message that she posted. And she said, I sent him a message to his sky that I will be his voice. I'm sorry it took so long for me to speak out. They have my son. Can I see proof of sledgehammer with blood, please? I just know he wouldn't go in that chimney on his own. And this is Ashlyn saying this, you guys. Let me get it to pop up. All right. You see at the very tip top, it says Ashlyn. And it's her balloon and what she said. I just know he wouldn't go in the chimney on his own. All right. So then I want to show you guys some videos before we get into the screenshots. The videos are right here. I sent them to myself. Let's listen. First of all, I want you guys to hear where the detective said no signs of dehydration. And when the reporter asked, what led you to that house, where he danced around the question and said, oh, it was social media post of Harley. So here we go.
Nationwide search for 14-year-old Harley Dilly.
Obviously, a lot of emotions that are in it.
The lead detective on the case, Ronald Timmons, is revealing new insight into the early days of the investigation, including what led them to the house where Harley was found dead inside a chimney.
We did a lot of warrants, search warrants for different electronic devices, his social media and things like that. We kind of got spread out. So it was a time after that amount of time to regroup at the beginning.
Harley was last seen leaving for school on December 20th. His parents reported him missing just before midnight on the 21st. Police say Harley was upset about his broken phone and had a disagreement with his parents about getting a new one. A police report states Harley's father told them Harley has autism and ADHD.
None of that information was corroborated through any sort of a medical source or anything like that.
Police say they were told by Harley's father this was not the first time he did not return home from school on a Friday, but they never filed police reports about it before.
I don't know if it was true, whether we got the call right away, if we would have been able to make any difference in finding him alive. I don't know how long he was in the chimney. I don't know if we will ever know that answer, and I don't know how long after he was in that chimney he was alive.
Investigators say there have not been additional safety discussions regarding the antennas attached to homes they say Harley used to access the chimney across the street from his house.
There was compressed asphyxia, but I can't tell you how long that would have taken to happen. There were no signs of dehydration or anything like that with the body.
While this community works to heal from the loss of Harley, police say it's an investigation they wish had a better ending.
It's just a terrible end to an investigation. It's something that we never wish anybody would have to go through, and obviously we wish that it could have ended differently.
And there's the proof that it's ended, that the investigation is over, open and shut. Closed case. All right, so I need to show you a couple of other things. Here we go. Get a sip of my coffee. It's like Good Morning America on Sunday. All right, let's go back. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the video where Harley says that he will be going into abandoned homes. And this was a year prior.
Hey guys, what up? It's your boy Harley Dilly, vlogs and more. And today we are vlogging at an abandoned playground. Subscribe to my channel, Jason Castle Vlog. And subscribe to my channel if you're at all new. And please hit that like button down below to support me and my channel. And if you want to watch your channel. And hit the notification bell if you want to know when any video comes out. Especially these type, because I'll be doing vlogs at abandoned places. Oh yeah. I'll be trespassing. I heard about if you come here at 3 a.m. haunted things will be here. Yeah, that's true, but we're not here at 3 a.m. We're here at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. Yeah, when 3 a.m. monsters come out like scary clowns and stuff. Bro, you're stupid. What? They don't come out. Freaking go. The kids that died here come out. Yeah. Wait, we're stepping on them? Yeah. Boy, you're stupid. Boy, they come out of the ground and they haunt you forever. If they see you, they'll come everywhere you go. They'll follow you. What point to that thing? You're stupid. In those rocks. I doubt it. You guys are all fake. We're not faking. This is a real place. Hey guys, this is in Ohio, so if you want to haunted, you know the series Haunted Ohio, right guys? If you want to learn about party poopers like him, go to partypooper.com.
So sad. So basically at the beginning of the video, we really didn't have to watch further. I just wanted you to know what these kids were running around doing unsupervised. Where are all these kids' parents where they're hanging out at abandoned playgrounds? We live in a time where you can't just let your kids play outside anymore. They can be snatched up in a blink of an eye, you guys. You have to keep a close eye on your babies. They are very, very vulnerable. Sometimes they'll believe what they're told, and you never know who's hanging out at a playground when they're not supposed to. Predators are not allowed to be near children's schools or playgrounds, but they go there anyway. And I don't know 100% that his parents are the people that did this. I just know that they didn't protect them him from it. If they didn't do it, they didn't protect him from it either. And I don't believe that he could fit down in that chimney. If we could get a plausible answer of what really happened, then yes, I will believe it. But I don't feel like he was given a good enough autopsy. I don't feel like he was given a good enough investigation. And I think that it's our job to try to get a private investigator together to give him the investigation that he deserves. We never were able to stop the cremation. The parents wanted that. You can't ever stand in the way of that unless it's like a huge, high profile case. And obviously, this little department, it thinks it's an open and shut case, just like they did the other cases that the coroner reported on and the family disputed. That's another thing I want to go over with you guys. There are 2 other cases that this coroner worked on, Cynthia, that were disputed by family members, and I'm getting ready to read those to you. Here it is. The first one was Dr. Cynthia Beiser, the deputy coroner who performed the autopsy, said last night that she stands by her work. He was not beaten to death. That would have been a no-brainer on my part. The original ruling remains in effect, but it would be changed if compelling new evidence surfaced. So what had happened is there was a gentleman that was unruly, acting a fool, and evidently this ex-sheriff and 3 of his staff members ended up allowing this man to be beaten to death, and, well, not to death, be beaten and put back into his cell. Well, when they went back to check on him 30 minutes later, he was unresponsive, had to go to the hospital, ended up dying in the hospital. And the family members came forward after his autopsy that was done by the same lady that done Harley's autopsy, said that he died of seizures. And they knew that he had been beaten, but Cynthia would not say that he would die. He had died from blunt force trauma, or she said he died from the same thing Harley did, as cerebral edema. But she didn't even say he died of a cerebral edema. She just said he had one. But she said this man did, and that he had had a seizure. So she lied for that sheriff and those staff members that ended up going to trial for beating this man. And she says here that she would change the ruling if there's compelling evidence to do so. So basically, this is letting you know that this coroner goes off of what the department says, that their compelling evidence can help her change an outcome. And because this man, and I knew this was going to be the case, because this chief stood forward during the autopsy on the same day and said there was no foul play and this was an accident, that Cynthia went with what the chief said, and I knew she would, and didn't give him a foul play autopsy. She probably didn't even look for defense wounds, and maybe he was too badly decomposed to show defense wounds. Who knows? But I know that this lady's work has been in question before when a man died in the possession of the local sheriff's department. And there was this huge cover up about it. And a sheriff's department and a police department are 2 separate entities. The sheriff ended up getting indicted on that case, and the chief runs a whole nother department. Okay. The local police is who the chief runs. All right. That's just your police department. Then your sheriff department has a little bit more jurisdiction than your police department, and a sheriff runs that department. But usually big enough cities have both. And so she helped them cover that up and got away with it. She should have lost her license right then and there, all right? But she didn't. Somehow it ended up going to court. They stuck with the seizure cause of death, and this poor man was beaten to death in vain, and nothing came about it. Well, then what happened again with the same coroner And I'll put these links down below so you guys can check them out and know that I didn't come up with this on my own. But then there was another time, the same coroner, findings from a second autopsy on the body of Castilia teenager Jacob Limberos are not inconsistent with an initial suicide ruling. Dr. Cynthia Bauer, a deputy coroner with the Lucas County Coroner's Office, has ruled. So she did a second autopsy and she's saying it was still suicide. There was this young man whose family said that he was shot in the head and killed. And Cynthia said it was a suicide, and the family disagrees with her. And she said, but her findings contradicted earlier opinions about the direction of the deadly gunshot to the head. So evidently, before she did her autopsy, they hired someone to do an autopsy, and they said that it was homicide, that the direction of the way that the bullet went in, it couldn't possibly be suicide, and told the family this. Well, then when Cynthia got her hands on him, she says that, oh, nope, it's suicide. But her findings contradict earlier opinions about the direction of the deadly gunshot to the head. Dr. Beiser performed an autopsy after a forensic pathologist hired by the family said his autopsy revealed the 19-year-old's death was a homicide. So a forensic pathologist said it was a homicide, but when Cynthia got her hands on it, she said it was a suicide. Sandusky County Coroner John Wyke ruled the March 2012 shooting death a suicide, noting the teenager may not have known the gun was loaded. The family contested that ruling, and the death is now under investigation. In a Wednesday letter to Dr. Wuke, who requested the second autopsy, Dr. Beiser stated her autopsy findings are not inconsistent with the original ruling of suicide. So again, here you have her saying suicide and another forensic pathologist saying homicide. So, and then Harley's case where she didn't even do anything. This is what Harley's autopsy reads, you guys. She said that he had dirt on his face and torso and no dirt in his airways, no internal trauma. He had a cerebral edema, which is fluid on the brain for all of you people out there that want to be particular, and that they are waiting the toxicology report, that the cause of death was compressive asphyxia, how he was injured was found wedged in a chimney, and the manner of death was an accident. That's all he got for an autopsy. Now, granted, this is the case summary on the death of Harley Dilly. This is not the full autopsy report. So I also want to read some other things to you guys and have you help bring everything together for us. I showed you all of those. And then we also have the friend that said he saw him after school on Friday and that he asked him to go to a game. And then we have the people retracting that and saying that happened on Thursday, but there was no game on Thursday. So the whole story was that he went there and said, hey, can I go to the game with you later? And they said, we don't have tickets. You can't go. We don't have an extra ticket. Not, can I go to the game with you tomorrow? And so all of that is in the missing persons report, which is right here. The missing persons report says on December 21st, 2019, approximately 10 till midnight, Marcus Dilly came to the Port Clinton Police Department to report his 14-year-old son missing. Why didn't the mom do it? He's the stepdad. Marcus stated that his son's name is Harley Dilly. Yes, he's Allison's real dad, but he's still the stepdad to Harley because he's not Harley's real dad, you guys. The story is that her and Marcus were on a break when she conceived Harley, but they got back together before he was ever born. Marcus advised me that Harley was mad because he had broken his phone and demanded that they get him a new one. Marcus stated Harley was angry because they told him he needs to earn it. Marcus also stated there were other incidents where Harley wouldn't come home from school on Friday and then wouldn't return until Saturday morning. I asked him if he filed a police report any of those times, and he stated he did not. Well, that's fine and dandy if he comes back on Saturday morning, but you're not reporting him missing until midnight on Saturday. So why didn't you go report him missing on Saturday morning, since it was unlike him to stay gone past Saturday morning? Saturday afternoon, you should have been there. When he didn't go to school, or you got a call from the school saying he didn't show up, you should have been at the school. You guys waiting almost 48 hours to report him missing is sketch. I asked Marcus what made him come in at midnight to file the report, and he stated he thought Harley was gone too long because he had normally returned in the morning the other times. I asked Marcus if anything had happened to make him think Harley is in danger. He stated no, and it was because of the length of time he was gone. If your baby is missing for almost 48 hours and police say, do you think he's in danger? Every single parent on the planet would say, yes, they've been missing for 2 days. No parent would say no unless they knew already what happened to him. I asked Marcus if Harley was suicidal or has ever had a history of that, and he said no. I asked if we had any reason to believe that he was in danger, and he said no. Marcus also informed me that Harley had ADHD and has autism. Marcus stated that he is high functioning and very smart. I asked Marcus if Harley would know enough to get out of the cold, and stated he would. Marcus added that he was a baby when it comes to being cold. I questioned Marcus about Harley's friends, and he stated he knew one of his friends' name is James, and he lives on 2nd Street by the resale shop. Marcus also stated that he had 2 other friends named Daniel and Junior that live on Monroe Street near the dead end. I responded first to one house, and he advised James is his grandson, and he lives on 7th Street. I responded to the other house and spoke with James, who confirmed that his son is friends with Harley. James stated his son is sleeping, but advised me that Harley and Deshaun were with his son on Thursday after school. James advised when he saw Harley last time, he had stated he was headed home. I asked Mr. Crow where Deshaun lives, and he stated Superior Court. Mr. Crow advised that he took Deshaun and his son to a Cavs game on Friday night. I was familiar with Deshaun from a call I had to his residence a week prior. I then responded to that address, went with the father to check. I met somebody at the intersection of 4th Street and Monroe to have Marcus follow him to the residence. Later, one of the detectives, I guess, advised there was no answer at the door. I spoke with Harley's mother, Heather Dilly, on the phone at this time, and she suggested we check Harley's ex-girlfriend's house at Perry Glen. Heather advised me her name is Tessa, and her dad's name is Lee. I contacted dispatch over the radio to ask an apartment number, and they advised me the apartment number. Heather also advised me that the last time she saw Harley was Friday morning when he was trying to get out of going to school, and stated he didn't feel good. Heather stated she told him to get his ASS to school. And as I spoke with Harley's mother, Heather Dilly, on the phone at this time, she suggested we check. Oh, I already read that. She said, Heather stated she told him to get his ASS to school, and as far as she knew, he had left and went to school. I made contact with Deshaun, and he stated he saw Harley on Friday after school. Deshaun stated Harley came over, knocked on his door, wanted to know if he could go to the Cavs game as well. Deshaun stated that they didn't have any more tickets. I asked Deshaun what Harley was wearing, and he stated a red coat with gray sweatpants and black tennis shoes, LeBron's. I then responded to the girlfriend's house and made contact with Lee. Lee stated his daughter Tessa was sleeping. Lee stated he knows Harley, and he hasn't seen him there in over a week. Lee advised that he would keep an eye out for him. I advised him to speak with Tessa in the morning and to contact us if she had any additional information. I then responded back to the police department to speak with Marcus's father, and The detective responded to a crash. Marcus stated that he was still parked on Monroe Street, and the detective had to respond to a call. Marcus stated at that time he observed someone walk up to the house and enter it at Monroe, where they were unable to make contact with anyone. I responded to that house and made contact with a female subject who was later identified as Danielle. She advised me she had not seen Harley since Thursday when he was there playing with her kids. I then spoke with Marcus and advised him he could return home and to contact the police department if he finds any additional information. I explained that I would issue a bolo for Harley and then responded to the police department and had dispatch issued the bolo for Harley. Now, everyone keeps saying there's no evidence of autism or ADHD. My child's doctor does not have that on file. My son goes to a specialist for that. So if you called up his doctor, you wouldn't even know that he has autism or ADHD. Maybe when, if you went all the way back to her notes when he was 3 years old and she gave me a referral to the autism place. But I'm telling you, all that information, now they send kids to a specialty place. My son goes to a place called Olson Huff, and that is everywhere. So you wouldn't be able to find those records unless you knew where he was being treated. And a lot of people don't know that except for mothers. So if I was to die or something was to happen, that's where you'd get Gage's records to find out, to back me up, so people don't think, if I was to die and the whole world tell everyone that, oh, my son didn't really have ADHD or autism because his doctor doesn't have record of that. Yeah, because you need to go to his specialist doctor to get those records. Now let's go back into these screenshots, and then I'm going to go over Brandy's screenshots, and then I'm going to let you guys go so I can upload this video on YouTube. And I'm going to go get my granddaughter because my daughter is not feeling good today, and I told her I would. So first of all, I want to show y'all what Harley really looked like, those little boy pictures. You can tell in the face, forget the size. Let's not even look at the size. You can tell in the face he's a lot more grown than the pictures that she was showing. She was showing pictures of a little boy, not this young adolescent. All right? All right, here we go. I already read you the balloon that Ashlyn said. All right. So on the day that Heather finds out that her son is found in the chimney, she makes this statement on her work thing. I mean, she just found out her son's body was in the chimney. The very day she says, "Thank you all for your patience and understanding. I will be back to work on Monday. I have done my best to keep up on things. More arrived today, and I will be private messaging those to make arrangements. Also, of orders due in the rest of this week and the next, please private message me for anyone not happy or having questions. I or one of my helpers will get back to it." Then she talks about Harley and says, "I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone for their prayers and shares. Unfortunately, the outcome is not what we had hoped for, but he is coming home just in a different manner." And she quotes what the chief said word for word. "Big thank you to such and such and such and such and the other admins who had helped." And literally, she quotes what the chief said in his press conference, but she talks about her leggings first before she even talks about her dead son. That is not okay. So then we have her saying this back in 2015. So if Harley was in 2019, Harley was 14 years old. That means that in 2015, he would have been 10 years old. So when he was 10 years old, this is what she says. "Has anyone experienced this? So was getting busy with the hubs, got a bit loud, and son runs in and says, 'Are you okay?' Needless to say, we laugh and continue just as. He runs back in and says, 'Are you sure?' And Gemma, the dog, you guys, jumps on the bed and starts licking me. Again, we finish and he starts asking. I respond with, 'It's mommy and daddy happy time,' and he left. I feel I did something wrong in saying happy time. How would you have handled it? I mean, this does not belong on social media. This is how deranged his mother was. Also want to show you that the chief's wife, Roseanne Hickman, and Heather are great friends. She's actually got pedicure with her before. So, and they both work in this community policing group. I don't know if it's on Facebook, but I do know it's online. And this is the way they're talking to each other here. Heather's on the top, and she says, nope, I tagged police department, hoping they have an answer. And then Roseanne says, good morning, Heather. Officers investigated and discovered it was a young man near the hospital setting off large fireworks. Kids being kids, scaring the crap out of adults. Gotta love fireworks. Just wanted to let you know they caught the culprit. Oh, thank you for letting me and others know. Kind of scary to hear and not know. And so that's just, common decency. But then she tags her in a post back in 2013. So imagine how close they are now. Just wanted to say very sincere thank you to Roseanne for hazelnut cappuccino. An amazing job you did on my pedicure. It was my pleasure. I truly enjoyed spending time with you. Heather says, I'll be back. And that is the chief's wife, Roseanne. So don't say it wasn't that Roseanne she was talking about, because bam and bam. Okay? So then we have this meme that Heather posted a long time ago. No offense, but I was raised to take care of my husband, wash his clothes, clean the house, wear gloves, get rid of the body, and act very sad at the funeral. And it was just a meme, but still, how uncanny that Heather Dilly posted that. She shared someone else's meme. Back in November 6th. Doesn't say the year. Crazy, huh? Okay, so then we have that Rory Dilly is 99.9% Brandon Poland's. Not, let's clear that up. The baby belongs to Brandon. Brandon had a baby with Ashlyn and signed over his rights because he gave a whole statement. And then we have another post where Heather is asking Roseanne Hickman, called Harley, tested positive for strep. 2 days home, and I need to go see Michelle, Stacy, and Roseanne. So just another thing to show that she is friends with Roseanne. Here's another. It's Heather Dilly and the Port Clinton Police Department. I know you're busy with trainings and such, and you are all doing a wonderful job. Just wondering why we don't have something like this available out here. I would be willing to help, and I know Roseanne Hickman would probably be, not making an assumption, just hoping. Thank you all for what you do. So she tagged Roseanne Hickman in that one. So they're awfully chummy. And then it's just disgusting how she's always putting her kids on blast about her sex life. Right here, she says, Heather Dilly feeling embarrassed. Harley, Mom, why is your hair all messy? Me, just woke up from a nap. Harley, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Then why is your dress on backward? Me, speechless. Whoops. I mean, gross, girl. Stop it. And then she says right up underneath it, even grosser, Heather, Marcus, when you have no kids, you take advantage of the situation. The car has been parked in the garage. LMAO. Wow, Heather. Disgusting. Okay, so then here is another post 4 years ago where she's saying everyone is fine, violation of court order, not sure of outcome, pretty sure it won't be good. So her life has just been chaotic forever. Then she says here, I didn't block anyone. I just deactivated my account so I could have some time for my emotions. Being told mean things breaks your heart. Yes, going on welfare because it's the easy way is wrong. Life isn't supposed to be easy. You're supposed to work at things, even if it's tough. She walks in this morning, gives me a kiss, and everything is good until I come back and say we can't add a room to the house, and she and her brother will switch rooms. This way we can see what is going to happen with Mark's job and save money. Nope, I'm going to get my own place. So right here, right now, I swear on my grandmother's grave, I'm not a shitty enough to kick out my pregnant daughter. This is her choice. And this is all that I'm saying. You believe and think what you will. Oh, and it's my grandparents' right, not custody. But if it comes down to it, that's better than the father. My real friends know who have dealt with her mood swings know now. And so this is her when Ashlyn is pregnant with Rory. So she's been aiming to get that baby since she was pregnant. She kicked her out pregnant and then went on social media to try to say that she did it. And then was like, y'all know her moods. Y'all know her moods. Well, we all know yours too. And what you're posting is disgusting. You shouldn't even be raising a child. And then on June 25th, police were here, report filed. Then tonight I spanked Harley. I did not do it hard. And this is back in 2014. So that was 5 years ago. So he would have been 9. He would have been 9 here. Tonight I spanked Harley. I did not do it hard, but it hurt me emotionally. Why is it that I feel guilty for doing what needs to be done? We did the coroner thing and he made himself puke. I also tried T-spot and that too was a fail. What works for you? Please, I feel horrible. Oh, FYI, I didn't even cry. What the heck is T-spot, you guys? Please help me understand what that is. All right. Then she says here, back in 2015 when he was 10, Harley is on meds, bad ear infection of the eardrum. Also, apparently I cleaned his ear too hard and scarred it. Seeing as you are taught not to stick Q-tip in ear, now I feel like shite heading home in a few, then it's cuddles and Netflix. Dinner will have to be grilled cheese and soup. My little man needs it. You scarred his ear, cleaning out his ear. Wow. Then she says, if he was 9 in 2014, he was 8 in 2013. And she says that Harley and his girlfriend had been together for 4 years. So she's let him have a girlfriend from 4 years old to 8 years old. Who does that? Ha ha. And now they've been together 4 years and he still says he is marrying her. Harley just asked me to add Las Vegas to my cities on my cell phone under the weather app because he and Tabby are now not dealing with snow and cold when they get married. LOL. Stephanie, that is crazy for 4 years. So that means that Harley had a real girlfriend that was telling everybody they were together and getting married from 4 years old to 8 years old, according to this time hop. Then she says, big drama at the races. Wow, she wants to blast and get attention. Okay, here's my side. It's okay. She's mad because I smacked her. Not hard, no mark, because she was adding fuel to the fire with Harley. I already had Harley saying I hate you because I wouldn't take him to get autographs, and she insisted in trying to be mama. And that's the only thing she has been doing. And that's not only me. Her father and her grandmother have been trying to break her up. It's not as bad as she makes it. She's just shocked, and I'm her mother. I should be respected as she should be. Yeah, but why are you not? You say she should be respected, but you smacked her and then put it all over Facebook on blast. Big drama at the races. Wow, she's talking about Ashlyn, you guys. She wants to blast. Here's my side. It's okay. She's mad because I smacked her. Not hard, no mark, because she was adding fuel to the fire with Harley. I already had Harley saying I hate you because I wouldn't take him to get autographs, and she insisted in trying to be mama. That's the only thing she has been doing that not only me, her father, and grandmother have been trying to break her of. You break somebody of trying to play mama? It's not as bad as she makes it. She's just shocked, and I'm her mother. I should be respected, and she should be too. Then why are you putting this on Facebook if you think she should be respected? She said, oh my God, so I was in Bath feeling a bit under the weather. Of course, it's time to get Harley from school. Mark don't want to, and Ashlyn has no license, so I throw on my nightgown, summer dress, and go. And this guy, I throw on my nightgown, summer dress, and go. This guy who has I love Hooters was staring at my Hooters breast. Guess you should have gone, Mark. This is what he saw. Nope, I know better than to put a pair of knockers on here. Instead, enjoy this. Can you believe that? Like, she is attention starved. People do this for attention. Then she says, so Harley got his own cell phone today, which was in 2015, so he was 10. And then I want to show this little poem that the chief posted. He says, losing a child. Do you know what it's like to lose a child? Sit down. This could take quite a while. At first, you're in shock, and then you're in denial, and pretty soon reality puts your emotions on trial. So he gave this whole poem, which he stole from this poor grieving mother who wrote it in Justice for Addie Mae. At first, you're in shock, and then you're in denial, and pretty soon reality puts your emotions on trial. You lose so much, but first, it's the same thing. Do you want to know what it's like to lose a child? Sit down. Let's talk. This could take a while. Justice for Addie Mae. He stole it word for word from Justice from Addie Mae. For this little precious baby, that poem was made. Yeah. Okay. And this is what the father of Rory, who signed over his rights to Rory when they adopted him, had to say. He said, pretty bad I have to post anything at all, but there's quite a lot of you who care more about me than what's happened to Harley. This has been admin improved, and I'm here to set all these rules and other lies straight. So to start it off, the dumbest one of all that I've seen is that I somehow the stepdad to Ashlyn and whatever. Like I just turned 25. How is that even possible? Secondly, I have no relation to that family whatsoever, not cousins or anything remotely close for the matter. Ashlyn was an ex years ago that was psychotic and always made up lies about me after we split. After we broke up, she would sneak out of her house and literally sleep in my backyard. Her mom would make fake Facebook profiles to talk to me and all kinds of crazy stuff. I wanted nothing to do with that crazy family and would have much preferred to stay as far away as possible. Honestly, the dad was the only one who seemed sane and like a decent person. I signed off on Rory, and quite honestly, none of you ever had any right to even begin worrying about my personal life or anyone in my family. As for the 30 plus friend requests and message requests I get daily of people harassing me and saying I'm putting Rory's life in danger, kindly screw off. If it continues, I'll start pressing charges. Nothing I'm doing or anyone in my family for that matter has anything to do with that family or anything in it. And we'd like to keep it that way. If you're not one of the people doing any of this and actually believe what happened to Harley doesn't seem right, then great. I believe the same, and I'm glad you're putting your priorities straight. Now that it's all settled, worry about what happened and stop trying to make up stuff for 5 minutes of attention, and have a good day and stay out of mine. And then Heather posted a while back, please tell my daughter Ashlyn not to call here anymore. She says she's pregnant by Mark Schwager Jr. Oh, and she's not in Ohio, but she wants me to give her financial aid info so she can go to college. Yeah, right. I don't care. We don't care. It's all lies. If it was true, she would prove it. So instead, she's gone on welfare. Yeah. So not proud. And then someone says, wow, she's acting like that. DA Amanda, she hated the way she lied and acted. Come on, Ashlyn, you are better than that. So whenever Heather doesn't get her way, she puts Ashlyn on blast. So I understand why Ashlyn flip-flops. She's scared. They have her son. If it's true they had something to do with Harley, then, or even if they didn't, they didn't watch Harley like they should have. And so they could let the same bad fortune that happened to Harley happen to Rory. And I'm sure it's driving Ashlyn crazy. And then we have, just wanted to say a very sincere thank you to Roseanne for the hazelnut cappuccino. Yummy and amazing job you did on my pedicure. Oh, we already went over that, didn't we? So sorry. And then she literally put this, no wonder it was so hard for Harley in that town. Look what she put on her Facebook about him back in 2013. So if he, in 2015, he was 10. So in 2013, he would have been 8 years old. And this is what she did to him and his future high school life. So if you hear about a third grader who exposed himself in the restroom, it was my Harley. He has been off meds since last Monday. We have been working with Firelands and finally on Saturday received a letter. We were accepted into the program called Johnson & Johnson, Patients Assistance. His med will be covered until Mark's work insurance kicks in, but the prescription card has not come in yet. It comes separate. Poor boy, he has no control over himself. Thankfully, principal is working with us. Don't judge unless you in my shoes or my son's. Can you believe that she put him on blast like that? And then, she says the same thing. She tells all of Facebook that she had to take Harley to the doc this morning, GI panel being done, letter for permission to use the potty at school. Like, there's a certain stuff that is just too far. And this is her plea for everyone to stop. I will not be on here anymore. I'm sick of reading some posts. This was when he was missing, before he turned up. Some people who even question if we're responsible but act like our friends. Well, guess what? We were cleared. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. The things I read, hell, I want to run away. You are some very sad people to speak the way you do. Let's get a few things clear. Yeah, let's clear the air. My husband don't drink or do drugs. That one blew my mind. Then why are you screaming in the background that you need to hurry up and get him to a doctor so he can get his pills he needs? Shouldn't have blown your mind. Next, not all in this case is shared because it's an open case. Duh, he isn't home yet. And one more mother jumper says, my son is dead. Seriously, we aren't the only ones who see this shite. I pray to God your life is perfect and no one takes from you. Another thing I referred to, Harley being famous because he always wanted followers. Duh, you dumb shites. Maybe take a minute to think before you type. Some of you are not thinking, but look for a moment of fame yourself. Also, not even everything is black and white, but screw what you think of us and just look for him. I just can't believe people are this rude, ignorant, and uneducated. Common sense, they look at the family first. We were cleared. I mean, anyone that has to come on Facebook and say we were cleared is guilty of something in my book. Sorry. That's just what it is. And then this is the proof that she donated. I'm going to be, because I'm so happy I could do this. Today I donated the 23, one already given to a woman in need, blessing bags. I also donated 17 bags of children's stuff and 40 pairs of leggings to the Salvation Army. I'm so overwhelmed with emotion that I could do this. Yes, I could have made money off everything, save money. But like I said, I love to help others, and the feeling you get knowing someone will smile because of you, well, it's incredible. So yes, I'm late answering messages and delivering, but I felt I needed to do this, and I feel so much better mentally now. Look at the date. It's the date that Harley went missing. She was driving around donating bags of clothes. Yep. December 20th. And then this was the little thing for his memorial. Pennies from heaven. Although it was my time to part, will always be so close to heart. And as you go about your days, I'll send some signs along the way. Just look around and soon you'll see pennies from heaven. Yes, they're from me. Please know that they are sent with love from your angel up above. Rest in peace, Harley J. Dilly, 2005 to 2020. He would have been 15 this year. And this was the front of his little memorial. And I showed you guys what a 13 by 9 envelope looks like. A little boy can't fit down that. That's what the size of the chimney opening was. A jacket can't even fit down there. And then on Tuesday, January 14th, before the autopsy came out, he typed up, the chief, Robert Hickman, typed this up and said, cause of death of young man in Port Clinton's compressive asphyxia. I mean, this was that day, Tuesday, January 14th, when the body was found. I wish this had a time on it so we would know when he typed this up. So law enforcement had this typed up before the final identification is pending and final autopsy findings are awaiting toxicology. Manner of death appears to be accidental at this time, but is awaiting completion of law enforcement investigation. And we heard that detective say, the one that said that they went there because of social media devices, we heard that detective say that it was closed. So I'm praying to God Monday, sometime during the day on Monday, that petition gets that family charged with negligence. At least. I mean, fine if you guys don't think that they should be charged in his murder, but they were negligent. They were. And then this is compressive asphyxia. Is a mechanical limiting expansion of the lungs by compressing the torso, hence interfering with breathing. Compressive asphyxia occurs when the chest or abdomen is compressed posteriorly from the outside. Traumatic asphyxia or crushed asphyxia usually refers to compressive asphyxia, resulting from being crushed or pinned under a large weight or force. An example of traumatic asphyxia includes cases where an individual has been using a car jack to repair a car from below and is crushed under the weight of the vehicle. Pythons, anacondas, and other constrictor snakes kill through compressive asphyxia. In cases of co-sleeping, overlay, the weight of an adult or large child may compress an infant's chest, preventing proper expansion of the chest. Risk factors include a large or obese adult parent, fatigued or impairment, sedated by drugs or alcohol, of the co-sleeping adult, and a small shared sleeping space. For example, both adult and small child share a couch. In fatal disasters, compressive asphyxia from being crushed against crowd causes the large part of the deaths rather than blunt trauma from trampling. This is what occurred in 1971 Ibrox disaster. Rangers fans died, 66 Ranger fans. Chest compression is also featured in various grappling combat sports where it is sometimes called ringing. Such techniques are used either to tire the opponent or complementary or distractive moves in combination with pinning holds. Example of chest compression include the knee on stomach position or techniques such as leg scissors. So you can also get compressive asphyxia with the knee being on your stomach, or you can do it by being in the scissors by having legs squeezing your chest. So there are a lot of ways to die from compressive asphyxia. Okay, and so this is what Heather had to say a few days after Harley was found. I haven't smoked much since the police and FBI came to tell me a body was discovered. I wouldn't believe it, but it's true, and my son is gone, not returning. He isn't a runaway or abducted, kidnapped, or missing. He is found and dead. Today, we have to go make arrangements at the funeral home for our son, our 14-year-old, who made a choice. He made the choice to climb the antenna of an abandoned home, walk across the roof to a chimney, and attempt to climb down. There he would have been able to view me leaving every Friday as I do running errands. He would have been able to come back home and I would have never been the wiser. The decision he made, he probably got the idea off all that gaming he did with Fortnite. All right, so first of all, he said he wanted an Xbox for Christmas so he could play Fortnite. So he wasn't playing Fortnite at his house because he said he needed an Xbox One to play Fortnite. Also, for her to be that mad at him, knowing he was found dead, that you have to point it out on Facebook and say, he was just trying to come in here on Fridays when I was running around my errands. How can you say that when he's gone? Suck that up. So what if that's what he was trying to do? He's dead. Why would you bring that up? Why would you say that in this post, Heather? How they, all right, where did it go? The decision he made, he probably got the idea off all that gaming he did with Fortnite. How they climb up things to go into abandoned homes to get treasures. He is gone. We have to live with this every minute of every day for years and years until we die, and we will meet him at the pearly gates. Why do you have to? I mean, you have to live with how you contributed to it, how you were a catalyst to it, how you neglected him, even if Marcus or you have nothing to do with his murder. You were a catalyst. You were the reason he didn't want to be home. Let's see, where else were we? All right, there she said pearly gates. All right. If he was trying to run from us, as some assumes, why didn't he go farther, not across the street? He was avoiding going to school. Why? We will never know, but kids do that. They decide for some reason they didn't want to go, but be it at a test, bullying, or just didn't feel they should have to when it was the last day before holiday vacation and an assembly would be going on. This whole thing could not have been avoided. See, what you don't get is when Harley made this decision, it was his final decision. Even if we found out he missed school, which I hold the school responsible for only making one call when unable to leave a message due to voicemail being full, they should have gone next in line to speak with a human being, seeing as we have 6 on our list. He was already deceased. So regardless what this negligence petition is circulating, even if we called in those 2 to 24 hours, he was already dead. You can't point the finger at me, us, whatever you want. The outcome would have been the same way. Now you want to crucify me. How do you know that? How can you say for certain he was already dead unless you guys had some kind of helping hand in it? Unless it was over the fight over the phone. Did you really tell him that he needed to earn the phone, or did you guys beat his ass? And when he got mad and said that he wanted a new phone? What did you guys do to him? I just find it odd that there's no foul play, but you have all these social media posts where you're being disgusting, parent, disgusting. You are damaging your children's future by the things that you're saying on social media about your children. You destroyed Ashlyn's life. You destroyed Harley's life. And if that is the way you're going to act with Rory, you do not deserve to raise that child. He is in no better hands with you guys who allowed this to happen to your young man, because you waited 2 days to call, even if they're completely innocent. They waited 2 days to call and report this young man missing. And they knew he'd done it before. Let's just say they're telling the truth and he'd done it before. You should have been at that police station that next morning on Saturday when he wasn't back like he normally was. You shouldn't have waited until midnight and went and had margaritas and ate steak. You guys were living your best life. And that's on y'all. Now, I want to read the stuff from Brandy. Brandy said I could read the stuff from her. So I think I'm going to do a part 2. This is going to be part 1. And I will come back when my granddaughter goes to sleep later and do part 2. And we will go through all of the screenshots I have from Brandy. But this is all my information for part 1. The next video will be Brandy's information. She has an amazing timeline I want to read to you guys. It will blow your mind. But this has already been an hour long, so I'm going to delete all the other Harley videos, let you all watch this one, and bring you part 2 sometime this evening or tomorrow at the latest, because I'm running to get my granddaughter, you guys. She's going to spend the night with me. So, plus my daughter partied a little too hard last night, so she begged me to come let her be hungover and go to sleep. So I love all of you guys. I love all my new subscribers. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really doesn't matter either way. I don't monetize, but it sounds good. Why not? And I am so happy if you have decided to become part of this community. And I so apologize for the blurry videos. I've made 200 videos in the last 3 months, and never one time have they gotten blurry. So I'm telling you, I just think that somebody don't want this information out. Bye.